Hello and welcome to this presentation of our submission to the IBM Watson Analytics Global Competition in 2008. My name is Chung-Min Chen and I'm presenting on behalf of my team from the University of Texas at Dallas. Our topic is about deforestation, what's the impact of it, the reason behind it, social media analysts, and finally we drew the conclusion according to our analysts. Now let's begin our introduction. First of all, how serious the deforestation is. We can tell from chart the forest covered area in the world has been decreasing continuously. Each minute there's about 14 soccer fields equivalent forest disappears in the world. Each month there are 5.5 New York City equivalent forests disappear. This map shows the forest cover area loss in percentage for each country. The darker the more percentage loss. The worst situation happens in Western Africa, Central and South America, and Indonesia. However, having a high loss in percentage doesn't mean high total area loss. It might be those countries originally have a small area of forest. Once the deforestation happens there, they are vulnerable to change in percentage. To understand the situation comprehensively, this map shows the forest loss by the total area. Brazil and Indonesia have the darkest color here. Combined with the idea we got from the previous map, both Brazil and Indonesia have a high loss in percentage as well as in the total area. That means we better start from these two countries to address the deforestation problem. This line chart represents the forest loss in the total area in Brazil and Indonesia. Both countries show the continuous downward trend, which means they are losing the forest over years. Now we have seen the several situations. Then what's the impact of the deforestation? We all know that the forest can help to consume the carbon dioxide. When the forest has been destroyed gradually, the global carbon dioxide level in the upper chart shows an obviously upward trend over years. Because carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases, we suspect that the carbon dioxide level would affect the global temperature. As we see from the lower chart, the global temperature does show the same trend as the carbon dioxide level. When we narrow down to the country level, this chart represents the average temperature by month in Brazil. Yellow lines from 1991 to 2015, we can tell clearly that the temperature nowadays is about 0.5 Celsius degree higher. We also test the average rainfall in each month in Brazil to see if there is an enormous variation over the years. From the chart we see that these three lines are consistent. It means that forest loss didn't change the amount of rainfall over years. Now, let's look at the impact of deforestation in Indonesia. Average temperature here indicates a similar impact to Brazil's, which is 0.5 Celsius degree higher temperature in each month nowadays. What's worse, the average rainfall by month does show variation in Indonesia. Let's look at the yellow line, which represents 1991 to 2015. For March, April, and December have the highest rainfall in the year. Yellow line trends to have higher rainfall compared to the other two lines in those 3 months. For July, August, and September have the lowest rainfall in the year. Yellow lines tend to have a lower rainfall in those 3 months compared to other two lines. What does it mean? Having more rainfall in main rainy season and having less rainfall in the drought season. That's the indication of more extreme weather. After we look over the impact of deforestation, now we are going to find out the reason behind it. As population increase, the demand of shelter and food also increase, which leads to more severe deforestation. This graph shows the trend of population from 1960 to 2017. You can easily tell the trend that population has been increasing. This graph shows the trend of the food export from 1990 to 2016. The upper graph is the sum of the food export in Brazil, and it has been increasing. In the bottom graphic, the yellow bar chart is the trend of the global food export, and the line chart is the trend of the food export in Brazil. By comparing the bar chart and line chart, we can figure out that they have a pretty similar trend. As the global food export increases, Brazil food export also increases. Being more specific in the food export, we take a look into the export amount of different kinds of meat in Brazil over years. The trend of the total meat export amount keeps going up over years, which can lead to the increase of the livestock land. From driver analysts, we want to find out what drives agricultural land change, because forest area has 93% strength to drive agricultural land change. It indicates that the forest change is highly associated with agricultural land change. In the dataset, agricultural land does include the pastures and the ranch land. Hence, the pasture and the ranch land change is related to forest land change. Combined with both analyses about the meat export, we can conclude that the main reason of the deforestation in Brazil are agriculture and livestock. Now we take a look at the reason behind the deforestation happening in Indonesia. From this chart, we can easily see that Indonesia didn't have a significant increase in the amount of the meat export, which can tell us that the main reason of the deforestation happening in Indonesia is not caused by the increasing amount of livestock. On the other hand, we can easily tell that Indonesia oil palm plantation area has been drastically increasing over the year. So the main reason over the deforestation in Indonesia is oil palm plantation. In addition, we use these graphs to illustrate several issues that can only getting worse. In the upper chart, we can tell that the export amount of food in Indonesia has been significantly increased over the years. In the bottom, we compare Indonesia food export amount to the world food export amount, which is obviously showing not so much of a change over the years. So we can easily tell that Indonesia has been taking more and more important role on the world food supply. But the cause of this can only lead to more serious deforestation in Indonesia. Now we are going to do the social media analysis. We did social media analysis by using three media, which are news, forums, and Facebook pages. We used several keywords which are related to deforestation, and we would like to know how many people are interested in the deforestation in a month. Based on this graph, we can say that ordinary people do not care about deforestation. This is because mostly deforestation has been mentioned from news, but not from Facebook pages that ordinary people usually use. It means that not many people pay attention to deforestation. As you saw from the previous slide, there is not many people caring about the deforestation. This is a geographic graph that shows that which country usually makes article or news about deforestation. The darker, the more people are issuing news or article about deforestation. From this graph, you can also tell that not many countries care about the deforestation. In this slide, you can get some information about what keywords are usually mentioned with deforestation. In order to address deforestation, we can usually use those keywords to arouse more people's attention. Above all, we came out with our conclusion. First, in Brazil, agriculture and livestock are the main reasons, and oil palm plantation is the main reason in Indonesia. Furthermore, according to the social media analysts, not many people pay attention to deforestation. Therefore, the things that we have to do first is by arousing more people's attention. Then, we can let people know how important it is, and after that, we should find a solution to reduce the deforestation for human beings. In conclusion, deforestation brings the environmental issues such as global warming, extreme weather, and biodiversity losses. It is demolition for human beings.